Hey guys, it's Andrew again here, and we have another success story we're going to share. And right now, I've got Brendan with me. So, Brendan, first off, thank you for taking a little bit of your time out of your first week or two to share your story. So, just take a minute just to tell everyone listening a little about yourself, about your background, who you are.
Uh, well, like you said, my name is Brendan. I am a former United States Air Force active duty veteran. Been going to school for the last couple of years, kind of not really sure what I wanted to do with myself. And once I kind of found this program, I mean, it was a no-brainer. It was just it just intrigued me from the get-go. So I'm very happy to have been a part of it.
Awesome. So, I guess kind of two questions. Was one, did you ever have any interest in software and tech? And then two is, any interest in sales? Or when did those two ideas cross your mind?
To be honest, I mean, like I kind of classify myself as somewhat of a nerd. So
Okay.
I love I love anything computer related. I love technology. I love the way it's advancing, what it's doing for us as a species. So it's really cool. I aspire to be a science fiction writer at some point.
Okay.
So
I like that.
definitely up my alley. Sales, not so much. I always thought that my idea of a salesman was like that pushy used car salesman, like it's pretty played out. And so I thought that's what sales was all about, and it's not. Once I kind of realized that, I actually met somebody who was doing remote software sales, and watching them interact with customers and everything, it just kind of changed my mindset about it. And that's where I really started being like, okay, how do I get into this?
Yeah, I mean, I was the same way. I think probably a lot of people were. They had this idea of what maybe it's movies, Hollywood, whatever that depicts what a salesman is like. But I'm sure they still exist. But in tech sales, that doesn't exist. Or if you're like that, you're not going to last long. So you came across Prehard. What about us? Well, let me ask you this: when you first came across us, what did you first think? Hey, this is awesome. Hey, I don't know about these guys. What were your honest thoughts?
Um, so you've seen probably those ads on Facebook for like development coding boot camps and things like that. And so
Yep.
I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting that there's a sales training program that wants to do that.
Yep.
And like I kind of dismissed it at first. Wasn't wasn't really like sure that's the route I wanted to take.
Yeah.
But then I kind of realized how persistent and targeted you guys were with because they kept showing up and the emails kept showing up, and I was like, okay, I'll check them out and see what's going on. And then once I read about how the program operated and what will be required of me, what you were telling me that I was going to achieve if I got admitted to the program, I was like, yeah, hell yeah, like I'm in. So it
Awesome.
happened rather quickly. So
Our marketing, we're not even marketers, and our marketing paid off. It worked. So
you know.
obviously you didn't really come from a sales background. So what was the program like for you then? Not really coming in with sales experience. Do you think it was easy, hard? Maybe what were some things you liked, disliked? Just kind of tell us your experience of actually going through the program.
So it was pretty straightforward for me. I'm kind of a hands-on learner, so the amount of visuals that there were pretty good for me because I was able to like watch somebody like sell through their process and kind of train me through that. So it was good, and I got to do it at my own pace. I know you guys have kind of a time frame you want to
Mm-hmm.
finish it in, but and I think I finished it right around, I believe, the 4 weeks that we
Yep.
discussed. And so the fact that you guys were, I know, like right at the end, you guys were willing to work with me. Like I was like, hey, like I got a couple of days to finish this. Like, oh, take your time. Like, make sure you get that down. So that was really cool. And the fact that, like, I guess my mentor or yourself, where you were available all the time, like, whether I needed to have, like some more interview prep or, like running through mock sales calls, things like that, which was something that's pretty invaluable, considering I'd never had any experience doing any of this before. So without that, I wouldn't have been able, I think, to land the job I did as quick as I did it.
Yeah, I mean, being your mentor, but I mean, I think it is, I think you make a good point. Things like that, you actually have, for people listening, you have people that they've been through interviews before, they know what they're going to be like and provide you tips, especially for something like tech, where it's a lot different of an interview process than other jobs. I mean, a lot of people that come in, I've never gotten I've never not gotten a job that I've interviewed for. And usually it's a one interview. They get that one interview. Hey, you did well. Awesome. Tech is not like that. It's 3 interviews, it's 4, it's 5, and it's different, meeting with different people, different activities, things like that, which is really not common in a lot of other industries. So uh, I agree. I think things like that are super valuable. That way I know we practice for specific assignments that you actually had or specific sales calls, whatever, like that stuff is very, very valuable. I believe, and obviously you believe as well. So kind of touching on that, what was the job search actually like for you after you went, after you went through the program, you submit your materials, you got certified, it's on the time, it's time to find a job. What was that like for you?
It was pretty intense and fast paced. I like couldn't believe how well the process actually worked, like following the steps, learning using the tools, learning how to reach out to the right people. And I think in the first day that I sent my my workflow out, or I started my workflow,
Mm-hmm.
by the end of the day, I had 7 interviews booked or something like that, and so over the month and a half, I think it was like 6 weeks that I was running the process. I think I took like 50 or 60 interviews. Each one, like learning a little bit more than I did from the last.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a couple that went into later phases. Like I reached out to you to ask you like, hey, like, like what do I need to be doing to be prepared for this assignment that I'm being given? And I think without, like the training you guys gave me, again, I wouldn't have been able to land the job I did, because the job I did, I landed based off of doing a mock sales call. And
Yeah.
I had never done one of those ever. I think we did it a couple of times, and then I went into the interview and I nailed it. And yeah, they were extremely impressed. And that's absolutely the reason I got hired. So,
I remember that. I know. I think you told me, didn't they say like that was one of the best ones they've ever heard?
yeah,
Something like that. I remember they said something really, really nice about it.
he asked me like on a scale of 1 to 10, like, how do you think you did? And I was like, oh, like I give myself a 6. And then they did the same thing that I did to them, which was like, oh, a 6, why not a 7? And I was like, okay, well, because I have a lot to learn. And honestly, this is the first time that I've ever done one of these. So I don't want to give myself too high marks, because I realize there's a lot I don't know. And they both kind of looked at each other and they were like, this is your first time? And I was like, yes. Like, we get people that interview with us that haven't, like with a couple of years of sales training experience, that don't, prospect that well. So yeah, you did good.
That's crazy. That's for people listening. That's cool to hear. Like, we've got most people who go through the program usually have some sales experience, but there are a lot of people that don't, and they always wonder how. I mean, even people that do just have sales, like, how am I going to compete with people that maybe already have tech or software experience? And it's like, well, hey, we have examples right here. Here's how you can compete with people, which is really cool.
To your all scripts, and really kind of like nailing those down, like memorizing them and
Mm-hmm.
making them my own was really invaluable. So the fact that I had a template to build off of, and
Yeah.
something that's tried and true that's worked before, is really great.
And right now, so you're what, week 2 in of your new job, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks in.
Okay.
I love it. It's fast paced. I'm learning a lot. It's the compensation's great. I haven't experienced that first round of commissions yet, but it's
It'll come.
I'm fully confident that when I see them, I'm going to be
Happy.
surprised. Yeah. So.
Plus, your commute's not too far, right?
Yeah, I actually, like, I vision boarded for myself. Like, when I started this whole process, I wrote on a piece of paper and I stuck it above my computer work desk. And I said, I'm going to have this type of job. It's going to be remote. It's going to pay me this much money. I'm going to have it in 2 months. And I got the offer letter. It's like a week before that 2-month time frame for exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's cool. You made that. That's really cool. Like, that goes to show if you put your mind to something, it can happen. And really, it's like I think you're great examples. Like I mean, everyone that gets hired, but like you followed the process. Like at the end of the day, like you did what you were supposed to do and you got the results you were looking for.
Yeah, there were even a couple of times where I know that I called you and I was like, hey, like, like I keep getting told like this thing, like part of my feedback in the interview is like that I don't have enough experience, and like I was kind of a little discouraged about that because it's like, how do I have too little of experience?
How do you overcome that?
Yeah, for a entry-level position. And you basically held my hand, walked me through it, and like the rest is history. So push me when I need to be.
Exactly. Well, last question I've got is, there's probably a good amount of people that listen. Maybe they've already had a conversation with someone's. Maybe they're thinking about, having a conversation with us. For people that are on the fence, because we'll be the first to admit pre-art is not for everyone. We're not for everyone. We want to make sure, we're both a good fit. What would you say to people though that they are considering this? They're not really sure if this is a good fit or not for them.
I'd say if you're unsure if it's a good fit, then you should probably take a good look at, like, are you confident enough to withstand constant rejection? Because in sales, you're going to be getting constant rejection over and over. Are you confident enough in yourself to be able to, complete this program in the time allotted? Like, do you have the time to do it? And I was working, I think, 50 to 60 hours a week. And I was still able to put in like an hour or two every night. So having the time to do it, like isn't a huge factor because anybody can spend an hour or two every night going through these processes, running through the slide. And lastly, as far as like the fact that it doesn't cost anything and you guarantee that until you get hired making X number of dollars, per month is pretty phenomenal as well, because I don't think I had like $15,000 just laying around that I could have thrown at this program.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I was able to do that, like you guys took a chance on me was pretty astounding. So
exactly.
If anybody's looking to join it, and they have any, like real like, hey, this is probably a good fit for me, but I'm just unsure, like give it a shot, do it anyways. And, like it's put me on a different path that I never thought I'd be on. And I'm super excited for what the future holds.
Yeah. I'm excited. No, I'm excited as well for you. And I want to touch on, the second to last point you made is, everyone, you're working 50 hours and you still have the time. Everyone has the time. Are you willing to make the time?
Yeah.
I hear it a lot. Oh, I'm not going to have the time for this or that. Are you working 24 hours a day? No. Everyone can make the time. And if this is something you're truly motivated about, you can make the time. And I know people, that have gone through that, work 70 plus hours, they made the time to do it because this was a priority, because they wanted to change their career so badly. They wanted to get to a better spot, maybe financially or whatever it may be. We all have the time at the end of the day. And that's for anything in general. And I won't go on a rant, but if you really want something in life, you can make the time. And with Pre-Ard, if you can put in an hour in a day, which is what we really say, if you really want it, you can make the time for it. If it's that important to you, you'll do it. Yeah. If you don't think you can make an hour a day and you're working 40 or 50 hours and you're not really sure, then maybe you're not as motivated to do it. And right now it's not a priority. Maybe down the road it will be. So, but I appreciate you taking the time to share your story with us, Brendan. I'm excited to hear how the next couple months go and just kind of hearing about your success over the next couple of years as you start in this new career. So definitely stay in touch with us. Obviously, you can reach out to me anytime you have any questions, and we will go from there.
Yeah, awesome, Andrew. Well, again, appreciate you for all the work that you put into me, because like I said, I know I was a little difficult at a couple times.
No, you were fine.
Again, it's invaluable information that you guys give, especially for people that have never had any experience doing this. Like I never thought I'd be here making this amount of money, working at a job I can do from home.
Cool, man.